Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Faith's Closet. So guys, this is a tutorial on how I made this beautiful gown. On my previous tutorial, I've already gone ahead to draft the pattern, so if you haven't seen that video, I'll post the link right now so you can go ahead to check it out. So guys, I've gone ahead to take off my pattern paper, and what I'm doing here is just placing the front piece upper part to the lower piece of the skirt. So after doing that, I'll go ahead to run a stitch on it. So I also went ahead to cut my lining pieces, and whatever I did to the front piece, I'll also do it to my lining piece as well. I'll just place the upper part and the lower part together and then run a stitch. So I've gone ahead to join both pieces, the front and also the lining piece. So after doing that, I'll go ahead to place my lining piece on the front piece. So on this particular part, what I'll do is I'll just run a stitch to cover that particular place, just as you see me do. Just run a stitch on top. So guys, I've gone ahead to run a stitch on top of it. So after doing that, I'll just go ahead to notch the area. So after notching, I'll go ahead to turn it over and then iron. So at this point, I was not having light, so I just decided to use pin to hold those parts there, as you can see me do. So I'll just go ahead to use pin, but if there is light, you can go ahead to iron it properly so that it can actually come out pretty well. So I'm just going ahead to trim up the excess on the down part. So yeah guys, this is what it's looking like at this point. So after doing that, the next thing I'll do is to place the down parts and also the design at the down together. So normally what we do here is just to place it like this, as you see me do, and just run a top stitch on it. So guys, what I'm going to be doing instead is to place it on top like this, just as you see me do. After placing it up like this, what I'll do is to take the lining pieces from the back and use it to cover up the back point. So just watch properly and you will get it. So guys, for further clarity, I'll go over it again. What I'm doing here is just taking the design, which is the black fabric, and placing it on top, then take the lining piece from the back and then place it on top. It's just the same way we turn our shoulder, so just do exactly the same thing to this. And the reason I'm actually doing it this way is because I won't be weaving this dress. It's actually a personal dress, so I just wanted to make sure that I don't have much rough edges on the dress. So you can go ahead to do it whatever way suits you. You can just go ahead to match it on top and then weave the part. So after folding it in, just as you see me do, I'll go ahead to take it to my sewing machine and show you guys how to go about it. So yeah guys, this is it. I've taken it to my machine. I'm just trying to show you guys how I actually came about it. So just watch carefully and you actually understand what I'm trying to say. I'm done stitching it down and I'll go ahead to just notch this area so that I can turn it out. And so guys, this is what it is looking like. I actually did like this so that to avoid too much roughness on the dress, like I said before. So guys, we'll move on to the back piece, and here I have my fabric already cutted out, guys. So I've gone ahead to notch my dart area. I'll go ahead to just take the darts on the upper part and also on the skirt part. So after taking the darts, I'll go ahead to join both sides together just as you see me do. So after doing that, the next thing to do is to join the shoulder together. So just like we did for that part I actually showed you before, we are going to do the same thing to the shoulder. So guys, take note that we actually did not cover the round neck because it's a turtleneck. So what I'm doing here, I'll just go ahead to zoom it in. So guys, this is a basic way we turn our shoulder. We just take the pieces together and then take one of the lining at the back and then place it at the front and go ahead to just run a stitch on top of it. So I'm going ahead to just pin it in order for it not to move when I'm sewing. So guys, the next thing I did was to cut out a very long piece of fabric for the gathers. So for the longer one, I actually cut out 6 inches, and for the shorter one, I cut out 4 inches. So guys, you can actually add some inches to it if you actually prefer. This is just actually what I want, and that's why I use 6 inches and 4 inches respectively. So I wrap my gathers on both fabric and sew it to the dress. So guys, this is how it came out, looking all neat and fine. So I actually use a stretchy fabric for this tutorial, as you can see. So because I'm using a stretchy fabric at the back, what I actually did was to iron stay on the zip area, just as you see me do here. I actually ironed stay on it so that it won't have that budgie effect at the back after sewing. And also this helps you when sewing on your machine so that you won't be having repeated cutting of thread when sewing. So guys, you can actually try this method. This is what I usually do when sewing on stretchy fabrics, especially for the zip area. So I'll go ahead to fix my zip and also work on the armhole. I'm going to be using a bias to turn the armhole. So this is how it's looking, guys. You see how stretchy this fabric is, but on the zip area it's looking so neat and straight because of that stay we ironed on the zip area. So you can go ahead to do that as well, and I've already gone ahead to turn in my armhole with my bias. So guys, the next thing we'll do right now is to move on to draft out the turtleneck. So what I'm doing here is just folding a paper into two and mark out the point line. So guys, I'm so sorry, I actually did not know that the light was actually too bright, and I was also using a white paper. So what I did here was just to draw a straight line at the end point, just as you see me do. Just follow properly though, you will get it. So I already drew out a straight line, just as you can see, and on the first part I labeled it as my front, and on the other part I labeled it as my back. So the next thing I'll do now is to take my measurement on the middle point from my shoulder to meet the middle point at the front. So just watch what I do and you will understand what I'm trying to say. So as you can see, I had 4 inches there. So whatever I had at that 4 inches, I'll go ahead to mark it from the middle point to meet the front area. And then on the front part, I'll just go ahead by half an inch. Just go by half an inch as you see me do. And then the next thing I'll do now is to take the measurement on the shoulder point to meet the zip area. Just watch carefully and you will get it. So whatever I have here, which is 4¼ inch, I'll just go ahead to mark it from that middle point to meet the back pattern. The back I labeled as back, so you just go ahead from that point, middle point, and then mark it out. So on this particular point here on the front part, from that ½ inch I went up by, I'll go up by 1 inch. You can actually come up by 1½ if you want your turtleneck to be big, but this particular one we're working with is actually a small turtleneck. So I'll just go up by 1 inch from that point and then rule a line to meet. So I'm going ahead to take my ruler to just meet the line from the ½ inch I came up by to meet the 1 inch. So just watch carefully, this is what I'm doing. So from the ½ inch I came up by on the front part, I'll just go ahead to take my curved ruler and then connect it to meet the middle point, just as you see me do. So after doing that, we'll move on to the back side of the turtleneck. So from that point there where I came up by, I'm going to be coming up by ½ an inch, just as you see me do. So I'll come up by ½ an inch and mark it and then rule a straight line across, just as you see me do. So from the point there, I'll also come up by 1 inch. I'll come up by 1 inch from that point that I'm marking and then rule a straight line across. So I'll go ahead now to take my curved ruler and then connect from that point from the back to meet the front area. So just watch as I connect it and you will get what I'm trying to say, guys. And so I'll go ahead to label the up part and then the down part, just as you see me do. So after doing that, guys, I'll just go ahead to cut. So I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into 4. I actually folded my fabric into 4 and then just place it and go ahead to cut, leaving ½ an inch round for sewing allowance. So guys, after cutting, you see that we have 2 pieces here. So one will serve as our fabric and the other one as a lining piece. So I'll go ahead to just place it together and then sew it round, just as you see me do. Sew the upper part and the 2 sides together, and I'll come back to show you what it looks like. So guys, I'm just going ahead to notch around and then going ahead to turn it over. And after turning, I'll go ahead to give it a good press. And so guys, I'll fold it into 2 and go ahead to just notch this center area with my chalk. So guys, I'll place it on the zip area, just as you see me do here. So just place it on top of the zip. So I'm going ahead to just take one part of the pieces, just as you see me do. So just open it up and place just one part on the zip area. And so after placing it, I'll just go ahead to sew it round to meet the other end points of my zip. So I'm gonna head to run a stitch around it, and this is what it looks like. So guys, what we'll do next is to just trim out the excess zip we have there, and then go ahead to turn it over. So just take the other pieces and just turn it over like this, and then run a top stitch round it. So I've already gone ahead to top stitch, and this is what it looks like. So this is how it turned out, guys. If you actually enjoyed this video and you learned something, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit on the notification bell to get notified when I post more videos. So you can decide to use a hook on this back area. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Until my next video, bye.